Hello, welcome to Working Help Desk Tickets with Irvin, also known as Koboman. Today we're going to talk about a laptop microphone issue where it doesn't record the screen. So we're going to talk about how to set that up. An Android phone that's not able to connect to a local network, also known as Wi-Fi. So we're going to talk about that issue. And there's another issue we're going to talk about, which is related to a website that's not working on an internal network, but it works from the outside network. So we're going to talk about all of that. It's going to be a wonderful video, and it's good to have you with me. Let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Irvin, also known as Koboman. Welcome to Working Help Desk Tickets. I am back from vacation. I apologize for the delay on this video because when I came back from vacation, I had some surprises at home. Like, one of the things that I had to take care of was a flood in my basement. So I had to fix that. I had to work on that, so this video is a little bit delayed. I'll try to release it today on Sunday. Right now it's 3:18 p.m. I fixed the leak. I removed the water and all that. And now I'm making this video. I'll try to make it released today at the end of the day. But if not, it's going to be Monday. Okay, I had a wonderful vacation. It was much needed. Before we start, please do me a favor in the comments below. Say hello, hi, or present, just like we are in the class. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Just the roll call that we do. And, okay. We got more tickets. Thank you to all who submitted new tickets. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. We need to follow up on a couple of them first, but we will definitely get to some new tickets. We always do a follow-up. If you've never watched my videos before, follow-ups are needed for the tickets that have been assigned to me, and then we're going to work the new tickets. So what that means is I've already talked about a ticket that is already assigned to me in the previous video. If you want to watch that, I'll make it come up to the right. On the top right corner, it's going to say my previous video. So whenever I do a follow-up, I just kind of quickly go over it to see if there are any updates from the user or from the viewer who submitted the ticket. Here we go. This is the ticket I had open, and it's about my desktop loses internet connection a few times per day. My suggestion was, hello, this is Irving with PC Support. Please update the network adapter driver. You can go to manufacturer's website to download and update the driver. Also, please watch my video on other possible solutions. So that was one of the things I suggested based off the description of it, because the internet was intermittent and this and that. There are details in the previous video, like I said. We do have a reply. Thank you very much, Lentistos, for the reply. And it said, thanks for the reply. About 2 weeks ago, I upgraded my SSD. I only had 64 gig. Now I have 250 gigabyte. Reinstalled Windows and everything. I don't know, but it seems to have solved the problem. Okay, that's excellent. Good to hear. Maybe it was a network driver issue, or maybe software was hijacking my internet, but thanks for the video. I learned a few new things. My pleasure. I'm glad that the issue is resolved and you've reinstalled the operating system because you had to upgrade to a higher, to a bigger size solid state drive, which is great. So maybe it was the driver like I suggested. So I'm going to leave it at that. And you did mention here maybe software was hijacking my internet. I don't know. Maybe if you were specific about which software you think, then maybe we can talk about that, certainly. If you want me to talk about it, and if you have it, you can certainly submit a new ticket, and then that's the best reminder for me to talk about it if you suspect certain software. So I'm going to close it. I'm going to add internal note and say issue resolved by OS install. Irvin. I'm going to close it. Complete. I do have a couple notifications. On one of them is from Lentistos. It looks like the other one was from Lentistos too. And it was about a ticket from about the Excel file. Let's look that up. I know I closed that ticket, but I do want to see what the update on that was. This was related to opening up multiple Excel files, like 20 plus, and they were basically crashing the Excel. I said you can close Excel without restarting by using Task Manager kill process, but keep in mind that there's a small risk of losing corrupted data. So every time you have multiple windows of certain software open, there's a chance that it might start to or might stop responding. In this case, in this situation, the issue was having multiple Excel files open. And the response from Lantistos, thank you again, was I got this question on my job interview. Oh, that's interesting. I told them about the task manager as well, but they said it is not responding. I asked for the answer, and he said there is a CMD command to kill app process. I mean, yes, that's true, but why would they? It's another way to do this, but you got the right answer. This is something that I've mentioned before. Somebody asked me in the comments below. They said I had an interview and they asked me this question, but they actually said it wasn't that, it was something else. And that's the problem whenever you go for an interview, is that you get asked these questions, and even if you do give the correct answer in the interview, right? You give the correct answer in an interview, the interviewer might just be like, no. Like they would kind of be like, nope, try again. No, try again. And then you're like, well, I gave you the correct answer, and then you become even more confused, and you become more irritated, then you become more nervous, which what I'm trying to say is a bad strategy for interviewer to be asking a specific answer solution to a question. And what I mean is that they are aware of multiple solutions and multiple ways of doing the exact same thing. In this case, if you use a task manager, you can kill it, but you can also use a CMD and use the kill command, to kill the process within the command line. But to me, that's kind of silly to demand that type of answer. But if you were to say, oh yeah, I use the kill command, who does this? You know what I mean? Who opens up a command line as the first thing? I mean, I really like to meet that person. So they're looking for a specific answer, and then it's kind of a negative thing that you didn't think of that at that time, although you gave the correct answer. It's just ridiculous, in my opinion. Anyways, I'm going to leave it at that. The ticket's already open, but thank you very much for the reply. I'm going to go back to unassigned issues, and we're going to work something new. Lantistos, I'm going to hold off on this one. Did I say I was going to talk about it in the previous video as well? Let's do it. Let's do it. It's all good. I'm going to do this because it looks like it'll be a quick one. Can't access a website. We have an in-house website that can't open, but can be opened outside of the network. No firewall or anything. Well, I mean, there has to be a firewall. If you have an in-house website that can't open, and I'm assuming it can open, it can't open on your local network, but can be opened outside of the network, then it has to be a firewall issue. So that has to be that, really. It's kind of weird that, when you're on the local network. So what that means is that when you're in let me see what shows up in my network. See, here is my network, and if you are on a company's network, you open up network. You see this tab down here? It says networks. I'm going to move it up here so you can see it. So this is just the Windows Explorer open, right? And you select network here. It's going to list all the computers that are connected on the network that you can access, that you have the ability to see. This is considered your local network, all three of these, right? All three of these are considered your local network. So anything outside of that, meaning in the internet, does not have access to these computers. They don't have access to these computers unless you install some specific software or open up the firewall so they can access it. You know how you connect to a new network and you get a pop-up. Let me see if I can recreate this. Let's do this here, Paint. So you connect to a network that you've never connected before. This only happens when you connect to a network that you've never connected to before. So let's draw this here, and we're going to call this HS, a hotspot. and it's going to be hotspot at a local cafe, right? At the cafe. Okay. At the cafe. Now you have your laptop here. Let me see if I can draw this in any way. Oh, that was weird. That line that just went down there, I did not do that. So let's say this is your laptop. And wow, that's a terrible looking laptop. I'm trying my best, guys. I'm trying my best. I don't know. I guess this is a keyboard, right? So let's say your Wi-Fi on your laptop connects to this hotspot. You get a pop-up. Once you connect to this hotspot, you get a pop-up that says here, if you say it's public, it's a public network. That's what it's asking. What kind of network is this? If you say it's public network, then these other computers will not have access to it. They will not have access to it. I hope I'm making sense. Sorry, I'm still a little bit exhausted from all the work that I had to do, but I'm trying my best to explain this so it's easy to understand. So public means your computer is safe, because it's asking you, is this a public network? Then you say yes, and it's going to keep your computer safe from these other computers that are connected to the same network, to the same hotspot here. If you say it's a private, then they will have access to it, because that means it's asking you, well, are you going to allow other computers to connect to it? So going back to the network thing, all of these computers that are joined here, all three of these, they are on a private network. They're on a private network. And people outside of that network, meaning the internet, cannot see it. Okay, in this case, we have an in-house website that can't open, but can be opened from outside. What does that mean? That means that for some reason it's set up that only outside of the network it works. So it's a firewall issue. It has to be a firewall issue. You know, it has to be a firewall issue. Unless there is some kind of website setting that does rerouting in such a weird way that it detects if it's a private network or an outside network. So what happens is, once you get a new website that cannot be accessed, this is usually when it cannot be accessed. So now, correct me if I'm wrong, Lantistos, please reply to me and say, well, you know, you said it's an in-house website. See, it's usually the other way around, where a company is trying to access another website, which is a third-party website that's not in-house, and they can't access it. Then you have to give them an IP range, an IP address range that will allow those computers to access / use the website. So it's usually the other way around. Either way, firewall people will have to look at this. It has to be. It has to be a network issue. It has to be. It's just, and again, unless it's set up to route to something else. Like, for example, if you go to this website, let's say call it inhousewebsite.com, and it's set up so that it can tell which IP you're coming from, and if it's an internal IP address, meaning what you just said, in-house, your business network, if it's set up to detect this, and if there's a rule that's set up that says if you get this internal IP address trying to access this website, it might be set up to route to another page. And if that's the case, that usually happens whenever websites are trying to deny access, meaning trying to, set it up in such a way so that they can't get hacked. Sometimes these websites, even if it's another page, it might just route to page not found. Route to page not found. So it could be a website set up like that, but it could also be the firewall. So in this case, there's no way that it's not firewall or anything. It could be anything or firewall. I know, because there's nothing else really. Okay. And I'm going to reply and say, this issue is most likely related to the firewall or website routing. I would suggest asking the firewall team to take a look, and also web admin / developer to check routing. I'm going to leave it open. You can let me know if that helped. All right, moving on to another ticket here. This ticket is from Dean Kisyov. I hope I said your name correctly. Thank you for submitting the ticket. It says here, issue with my laptop's microphone. Hi, I'm having trouble solving the issue with my microphone on the laptop. Generally is working. It is enabled from I'm assuming it's enabled from the settings. The apps has permission to use it, but when I record my screen, I want to record my voice, it does not work. The problem is with any app. When I want to record my presentation with PowerPoint, also no sound. The drivers are fine and up to date. I'm testing the microphone settings. It shows that it's working. Also, the privacy settings are on. The apps are allowed to use the microphone. I have checked the settings of the apps. They are correct. I don't know what else to check. Everything seems fine and in working order, but I want to record the screen or PowerPoint presentation. It just doesn't record my voice. I don't know. Is it the software or hardware issue? I have checked the event viewer. It does not show anything. So the event viewer is not going to show you anything. Your microphone is working. All it is just a specific setting that's within the recording software that you may need to adjust. So if you went to your audio settings, like if you go to audio settings, and sounds like you've done this already, and if you go to sound control panel here, and you make sure that under recording it's listed there and then it's enabled, then that's great. You can go in there and select configure, go to properties, and test the settings, and that sounds like you've done that, which is great. Your issue is most likely with the app. Since I'm going to call it app, I usually like to call it software because that's just what I'm used to, but it's an application. An app is short for that, which is fine. And what I'm trying to open right now is called StreamLabs OBS, which is a screen recording software. And that's what I use for recording my videos. And it works pretty well. You do have to set up certain settings. And once it's updated here, I will show you what I kind of have to do. I haven't opened it up on this computer in a while, so it's taking a minute to download and install. Now, I think you've mentioned, see, here's the thing, to people who are doing tech support, and Dean, this is not personal or anything like that. This is just this is an advice for people who are doing tech support, and maybe you are doing tech support as well. But what I'm trying to say is that I know you checked everything, and that's fine, but tech support people, whenever you hear that user tells you, I've checked this and that, you also need to check it. And you have to do it in a polite way. You know, if, for example, in this case, Dean says, I've checked all of it, it's fine. It's not that we don't believe you. And it's not that we can't take your word for it. It's just that it's a proactive thing. It's a proactive thing just in case something was overlooked, because you don't want to waste time on doing troubleshooting steps for, and before doing the basic troubleshoot. So it's like we have to do it. All the people that are doing tech support have to do their troubleshooting steps. All the basic troubleshooting steps, they have to be taken. And it's because it'll waste a lot of time just in case, because it happens sometimes where you miss something. So here is StreamLabs. This is how I set it up. So if I go to scenes here, and I usually create a new scene, right? We're going to call it new scene. I'm just going to leave it here. So here's your new basically template. This is what it looks like. And then this is the scene tab of it. And in the right here, it's asking you for sources. Well, what that means is, what do you want to record, right? And I'm going to set it up in such a way where you can set it up to record your screen as well. So I'm going to click on the add button, and then I'm going to simply select display capture. To me, display capture is the most and the safest way to make sure that everything on the screen is captured. And if you want your mouse pointer to be captured, make sure that's enabled as well. And I'm just going to click add source, and I'm going to leave it. You can name it whatever you want. Make sure that capture cursor is enabled. Okay, and then you can choose the resolution here. You should leave it at the default, and there we go. Now we are recording the entire screen of it. Mine is set up a little bit different here because the template is set up to record, I think, 1080p, but I can change this. That's not your issue here. What your issue is making sure that audio is getting captured. So we're going to add audio. So we're going to click add another source, and then here we are going to specify audio input. Now, if you want to record what's going on, like on your desktop, like if you're playing a video, make sure you select output as well. Now, if you want to just record your voice, select audio input, because you're inputting your voice, right? So make sure your audio input is selected. You can leave it at audio input, or you can just name it microphone. Add source, and here you can select which device. So you have to specify which device is being used, and you make sure you select your microphone. I don't have microphone connected to this computer, but here it is, device, and it's set to default, and that's fine if your audio device inside of sound control panel under recording, and it's set as default just like this. So if you see it here, click set as default, and it's going to set it. So if you've done all that and you leave it at default, then it should work. Otherwise, I always like to be specific. You can just select it and make sure it's selected. So if I was to go over there and plug in a headset, it would show up, and I would pick that headset microphone. And then you can test it here. This and that. I know you're not using this, but this is how you can do it. And I don't know if you noticed here, but it's been added into the mixer here. That kind of confirms to us that it's been added. It's right here. It says we named it microphone, and here it is. And if I go in, I can change it again and make sure that it's selected again. So just make sure you do that. Okay. These other things that I'm playing around here is something else, but that's how you set up the microphone, and it's set up to record your audio, and you can test it. The great thing about OBS thing that I was just StreamLabs OBS is that you can see it move. You can see activity right away. Okay, so I'm going to say hello. This is Irvin with PC support. I have your ticket about microphone issue. Of course, make sure that the microphone is not obstructed. You know what I mean? Not like blocked with something. Highly suggest if you're recording something with your microphone that you use a headset rather than a built-in microphone, by the way. If you use a built-in microphone, they're not good. It's going to pick up ambient sounds Like say, let's say your kids are walking by, or your dog is barking, or anything, you can adjust that. And like if it's picking up all kinds of things, you can adjust the gain so it's a little bit less, so it doesn't pick up the audio, background audio, and all that stuff. Please make sure that inside the recording software has your microphone selected as input device. Please watch my video for details. I'm going to leave it open because I need to know. I want to know if there's a follow-up. All right, let's do this one. Tracy Moore. Thank you very much, Tracy, for submitting this ticket. I need help connecting to the employee Wi-Fi network on Motorola G9. I have a Motorola G9. When I try to connect to my school network, it says connecting and then it goes back to save. It doesn't connect. Oh, that's annoying. That is so annoying. So, I guess I'll have to use Paint again to describe what I'm thinking here. So it's kind of straightforward question. It says I have a Motorola G9, which we can look up, I suppose. I mean, it's just a Motorola G9. So it's just a smartphone, It's just a regular smartphone. We knew it was going to be Android. And, all right, I mean, I don't know why I looked it up. There's really no need. I mean, all Android phones kind of look the same to me. What I really want to see is Android Wi-Fi settings. I hope there's a screenshot of that. I hope this one we can get a full screen of this. That's not what I wanted. I'm going to open image in a new tab. That works. All right. So we got G9 and it's trying to school network. It says connecting and then goes back to save. It doesn't connect. So the issue, it could be a couple of different things actually. It could be that your school network, which we will call this here school Wi-Fi here. School Wi-Fi. And I'm going to circle it. And we got the G9 phone here. G9. And you're trying to connect to this, which is fine. So you open up your phone and it kind of looks like this. You open up and then well, I guess this one is not showing the different here it is. Let's just use this one here with different open image in new tab. That's working pretty well. Anyway, so you'll see the list of available networks. You connect to them. I'll try to zoom into this. It's kind of messed up picture. Let me see. I'll see if I can get a little bit better picture here. What I'm just looking for is just a selection of different networks that are available. Here we go. Let's do this one. These look a little bit higher quality. Here it is. So, you turn on your Wi-Fi and then you see a selection of available network, right? This is normal. We see this a lot. And then you try to connect to them, and one of them happens to be school. You connect to it, and it just says saved, and that's it. That's it. It doesn't, nothing else happen, right? Now, did it ask you to put in your password? If not, then what's usually happening is that your website is allowing your website, your school Wi-Fi here, school network is allowing you to connect to the Wi-Fi before authentication. So it will allow anybody to connect to it, but however, it may not be authenticated yet. So what does that mean? Is that what it should be doing if it's set up like this, is that it should be taking you to a web page that allows you to authenticate. Meaning it's going to allow you to enter your login ID and password, which is most likely what's happening. And this is typical in not just schools, but any businesses, any big companies or something like that, any networks that are set up in such a way. So it takes you to a login page, but it usually happens automatically as soon as you connect to the Wi-Fi. It takes you to the login page. So what's happening is that usually you're giving a guest login, or sometimes a login that will expire at some point if it's set up like that. Some companies, like for example, company that I work for, if you use a company laptop, so it has to be company laptop or a phone, it will allow you to connect to the network without too much of authentication. You just use your regular computer login and that's fine. But that's because it's a company laptop. It's set up to use domain and the network by itself. So I don't want to make this too confusing, but what's happening is if your phone is G9, right? It's your personal phone, then most likely it's using what they call a guest login. So it takes you to a login page and there you put in your credentials, meaning your login ID and password. So I'm going to see if I can find a Wi-Fi guest page. Is this one of them? Sure, let's just use this one. Is it this one here? Looks like this one is, but I don't know what language this is, but doesn't matter. But this is what it looks like. It says here username, see right here. So it would ask you to put in your username and then your password. And then you can select it to remember, so that way you don't have to keep doing this. Unfortunately, whenever you're using these type of Wi-Fi networks, is that it may keep asking you every time. May keep asking you every time to log in. So that's what's most likely happening. If it's not taking you to the page, if the school network, when you connect to it, is not taking you to the login page, you may need to actually find out what that URL is for that page. So contact whoever can set you up to have access. So it's not a surprise that you can't connect to it right away because you would need login credentials of some sort. So contact the IT guy there to help you with login to this. Now, and it says it's connecting and go back to save. It doesn't connect. Another reason could be is that maybe it's blocking you. It's simply blocking your G9 from connecting to it. And this could be set up in such way where it blocks any other computers. In this case, your G9, your phone, is a computer. And it's a device. It's a network device. It could be set up so it blocks any unknown devices, from connecting to the Wi-Fi. So that could be happening as well. You will have to reach out. Unfortunately, you will have to reach out to the IT guy who has access to this Wi-Fi, or ask somebody else how are they connecting to the Wi-Fi. It can't be open, and I don't know the whole situation, but you can certainly reply to me. I'll leave it open. Hello, this is Irvin with PC support. I have your ticket about school network Wi-Fi connection issue. You may need to use separate login ID and password that will allow you to use this Wi-Fi. So if the network is set up in such way, it should take you to a login web page. It may be another issue in which it does not allow you to connect at all, but in either way, I would contact the local IT guy for help in getting access. Perfect. Yeah. I'm gonna keep it open. You can let me know, and then we'll go from there. All right. Let's see how many unassigned. We have 12 more tickets that haven't been worked. All right, guys. I'm a little tired. We'll definitely keep making these. I love making these videos. Thank you so much for your support and understanding. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope you're doing well. I hope your family is doing well. And I'm going to wrap this up because I need to start editing this video. And I hope to release it today on Sunday. But if not, it's going to be early morning Monday. Thank you so much. You've been wonderful. Take care. Bye-bye.